are the biggest outside contenders at the 2019 NCAA Wrestling Tournament? We're talking about that in this video. My name's Josiah.
And I'm Brendan.
And this is Fanco Wrestling, where we talk all about the latest college wrestling news, wrestling lifestyle, and more. So let's get into this discussion about the biggest outside contenders. So first, let's kind of define what this means. So there are always the top one or two guys usually in the weight class who are, predicted to win it. Mm-hmm. We're talking about those guys who are maybe at that 4, 5 spot, maybe at the 10 spot. We're talking about those outsiders who nobody even heard of before the tournament, before the NCAA tournament, and that's where they make their mark. Think about a Kyle Connell last year.
Exactly.
Or a Tariq Wilson. These are guys who were relatively unknown before the tournament, and then they made their mark and they wrestled phenomenally. So these are the guys who we think are going to do the same in the 2019 tournament. So let's jump right into this discussion. Who would be, give me a choice, or give me an option, give me a wrestler at who you think could win a national title.
All right, so this guy, he may not be top 10. He's a little bit outside of that. He's Flo has him at 13. I think USA Wrestling has him at like 8 or something.
Okay.
His name is Demetrius Thomas.
Okay.
He's a heavyweight for University of Pittsburgh. Some people might call me crazy for it, but I've seen this guy wrestle. I've been watching him all year. He's a record of 21-3. He wrestled number 3 Derek White from Oklahoma State. He lost to him by 1 point. He's in every single match that he's in. He placed at Cliff Keen. He wrestled really tough there. And this guy, I have yet to see him lose by more than 2 or 3 points. He's in every single match, and you have Stevenson at that weight, and I'm not saying he's gonna beat him. I'm just saying, this guy, he's in the hunt, and he's someone to watch out for, and I think he could be a serious contender.
No, that's actually a really interesting choice. One I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys don't know, Brendan is a Pitt guy. He wrestled at University of Pittsburgh, and that's where he's graduating from. And so that's actually very interesting that you have that. Really, I don't want to say insider knowledge.
I have that insight.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are probably watching every Pitt wrestling match, watching for this guy. He's definitely flying under the radar.
Right.
This year for sure.
Pitt may make a pretty good mark at the tournament this year with Philippi.
Yeah.
Who some may consider an outsider, but just as far as the weight goes at 133, anybody could win it.
If you were ranked top 20 at 133. You are in the hunt.
Anybody is an outsider.
Stacked weight.
So, of course, we have the top. You have to really go outside of the top 8 to get an outsider there.
Always going.
I mean, in
back and
the
forth
top 8, you got Fix, you got Soriano, you got DeSanto. A lot of these guys, Philippi, Pletcher, Lezak, and some
Tariq
may
Wilson.
Some may even consider Gomez an outside choice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's wrestled tough this season from Iowa State, but he's not. I haven't heard him in the talks for a national title. Another outside choice at that weight is Corbin Myers at number 10.
Yes.
He beat Philippi.
He just beat Philippi just too long ago.
And then the real outside choice here that I want to get into a discussion about is RBY, Roman Bravo Young.
Yes.
So RBY, of course, is the 133-pounder from Penn State, and he's made a mark this season so far. He beat Milhoff, who Milhoff's a little bit lower in the ranks, but still a tough kid.
Yeah.
Tough kid.
RBY, he was beating Gomez at, I believe it was Midlands. And he was beating him pretty handily.
Or Scuffle, I think it was.
Yeah. Beating him pretty handily in the second period, and then he got stuck by Gomez because, Gomez got that Greco-Roman experience. But,
Right.
That probably would have been a win if he hadn't gotten pinned.
Right. So that's why I'm thinking, he may be injured right now a little bit. He's struggled with a little bit of injury, but we could hopefully see him make a mark at Big Tens and Nationals this year.
Yes.
So give me another one. Give me another outside choice.
Another outside choice that I would have to say, Patrick Glory from Princeton at 125.
Okay.
This guy, he is a true freshman. He was a hammer in college. Hammer in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He wrestled lead twice this year. The first time, he struggled a little bit. He got beat pretty bad, but then he wrestled him again at Midlands, and he rode him out for 2 periods. The last 2 periods, I believe, and the match was a lot closer. He did well in that tournament, and I believe he's ranked 10 right now.
Is he? Okay.
And he's just someone to watch for at 125. That weight is pretty open. You have Rivera and Lee, but I think Glory kind of proved himself that he can hang with those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 125 is a tough weight. It was arguably the toughest last year, and it's really no different this year as far as a tough weight class. And somebody who actually beat Patrick Glory that I have on my list is Nick Piccinini. Now,
there we go.
Maybe you don't consider him an outside choice because he's number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I get that. But I haven't heard his name thrown in there a lot. And one thing you may not know, he's undefeated right now.
Is he?
23-0. Wow. Yeah, which a couple of these guys, Lee can't say that right now.
And Okie State's wrestling some of the toughest teams in the country too.
Some very tough teams.
Yeah.
So, I just want to throw that out there. Patrick Glory, Pitch, some tough kids.
Absolutely.
And let me throw one more out here for you. Let's go up a little bit to heavier weights.
Mm-hmm.
Is at 165, and that is Chance Marsteller.
That's one that I thought of as well.
Yeah. Tough kid. Let you talk about him.
Yeah, absolute hammer. Everyone knows him from high school. He was undefeated, 4-time state champ.
Mm-hmm.
He came to college, had a little bit of trouble in the beginning, bounced back. Last year, he took 4th at Nationals for Lockhaven. This year, he wrestled Chenzo, had a really great match with him, a lot of action. Proved that he, again, can wrestle with the top guy in the country. Chenzo's number 1. We know him, 2-time national champ. He's the guy to beat, and Chance almost beat him. Took it to him and showed everyone, I'm here I'm not joking around this year. I'm going to try to win a national title.
Right, and that was a 6-5 score at the scuffle.
Yes.
So, I mean, Chenzo, he always somehow keeps it close, but he pulls it out. Who says he's going to pull it out again with this tough field of competition in Chance Marsteller and one other person with Shields, he lost to him 2-1, who's another tough wrestler at 165. So another great weight class, and I want to get into I have 2 more if we get into those, and that number 1 out of those 2 is at 184 Shakur Rashid.
I like that pick.
Yeah, so right now he's number 7 from Penn State, and he doesn't necessarily have any major wins this season, but he took 7th at Nationals last season, and he showed that he's a contender. Between him and Kassar and Nickel with them
almost didn't even wrestle in the national tournament last year. He was just close to being on the bench for the tournament.
He made it to the quarters and then lost, and then he worked his way to 7th, but an outside contender. And then my last one that I have is a Whippeal guy. So this is a really interesting. Brendan and I are both Whippeal wrestlers, or we were in high school, and he's at 141. Okay. Number 4. And I think he's flown a little bit.
I know who it is.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mike Carr.
Mikey Carr.
So Mike Carr is 9-2 right now.
Yes.
He's wrestled tough all season. I haven't really heard a lot about him at 141. Of course, you got Yanni there, so he's going to be tough to beat. He lost to Ironman in 2 close matches, and then he is I just
so Ironman is both his losses this year, and he's 2, I believe. Ironman? Yeah. So he's definitely in the hunt. I mean, Yanni, we were talking about him. He's an absolute animal, and he's going to be tough to beat. But Mikey Carr, he's in the hunt.
Right, and you want to hear something else that's kind of crazy is there are 2 other tough Whippeal guys at 141. AC Headley.
Yes.
Sam Crevis.
Ooh.
Could one of them...
Both of them are in the ACC as well. They're wrestling each other in the ACC tournament.
Exactly. Could any of them make it far in nationals? Guys like this, they come in there. Those 3 guys, they've been wrestling each other since they've grown up. They're from the same area, the same region.
Weight. They wrestled so many times.
Right, and now that they're at the national tournament, they know their style. They've wrestled in clubs and local tournaments. they keep it close.
Yeah.
And any of those matches can flip at any time. So, do you have any other big choices? Or
I got one more.
All right.
He is another Whippio guy.
Okay.
He's at 157 pounds, and his name is Zach Hartman.
Oh, yeah.
Zach Hartman at 157. You know, he the first that I really heard about him this year is that the fact that he solely, you know, people were talking about this. He took down Jason Nolf, and he held the match to be pretty close.
He did.
Close for Nolf. Let me say
Yes,
that it wasn't
yes.
like a 2-3 point match. Nolf still beat him pretty handily, but he took Nolf down. He took it to him. I believe he's a freshman this year. He's ranked top 15, top 10.
He's a true freshman.
He's a true freshman. He was in high school last year. And, you know, with his true freshman, that's another thing with RBY and kids like that. You know, they're only going to be getting better throughout the year, you know, because the transition from high school to college, it's pretty traumatic. It's pretty big.
Oh, yeah.
And if he, right out the gate, wrestles a senior Jason Nolf and takes him down, kind of, he's making some noise early, and I think he can make some noise at Nationals.
He is, yeah, and a Bucknell guy.
He's a Bucknell guy, yep.
So that's a great outside choice. And, you know, you said it, Nolf, you know, he's a tough guy to beat. And, I mean, he's undefeated this season.
Yeah.
But if Zach Hartman can come out there as a true freshman and take him down, that's
showing
showing
anyone in the country.
Right, that he can take down anybody in the country. And who says he's not going to make some noise? So those are our outside choices. And, you know, we want to know is there somebody that we didn't mention who's an outside choice? Who's going to be the next Kyle Connell this year at the national tournament? Leave your comment down below. We'd love to hear it. And if you're interested in more wrestling-related content like this, make sure you subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching.
See ya.